Today we are jumping into talking about the guest experience, which I feel like we don't talk about a ton because either we're focusing on like techniques, like different trends and techniques with color, cutting, styling, etc., or we're talking about bringing in new clients. But if we don't know how to kind of like keep our clients and keep them super happy and excited to keep coming back for more, we are always going to be starting over at zero, right? Every single month, we're starting back at zero. So if you guys can have a great guest experience, which I'm going to define that so that that isn't so vague sounding, then your clients are going to be more loyal. You're going to get more clients from word of mouth. You are going to be building easier, but also I did a ton of research for this training today. I'm going to share all the stats and data that I found, but y'all, when people have a great experience, they spend so much more money with us. So I want each and every one of you to not only know what a great experience looks and feels like, but also be able to systemize it a little bit so that it's easier for you to be consistent time after time. It is so easy for us to give a great customer service experience once, right? Especially with a new client, we feel like we are showing up as our best selves, dotting our I's, crossing our T's. We're doing the most for them. But again, the data that I found, 1 out of 3 people, so 1 out of 3 people will leave after just one bad customer service experience. And we can say that's not fair. We can say whatever, we're only human beings, which we are totally. But what I say instead is like, let's really step in with a plan and let's make it so that even on your off days, even on your distracted days, even on the days when your personal life feels like it's going to shit, you can still show up and give a great experience and feel good about what you're doing. I know that none of you at the end of the workday want to look back and be like, wow, that wasn't my best. Like end result aside, that's not what we want. That is what leads to burnout ultimately. So yeah, so I am sharing all the data that I found. I'm also going to be sharing a 29-step checklist, okay? So we're going to go through those one by one. If you have one next step that you take after this training, what I want it to be is I want you to sit down with a piece of paper or with the notes app on your phone, and I want you to list out what your perfect experience would be for your salon. Like, what do you want your guests to experience from beginning to end with you? And just write that out. I have found that almost 99% of the time when I work with hairstylists, they have never even stopped to really define what an experience with them is like. What they do on a regular basis or what they want to do, we're kind of just going on autopilot, right? Like how you drive all the way home and you don't even remember how you got there. That's kind of how we are with our guest experience sometimes. And while that's fine, I want to make sure that we autopilot and like train ourselves or hypnotize ourselves to make sure we're doing all of the right things, okay? Okay, so why do we want a great customer service experience? Like, why do we want our clients to walk away feeling amazing? I mean, first of all, it makes people want to spend more money. So it will increase your average ticket. It increases loyalty and it grows your business through word of mouth, okay? Like I said in the beginning, if we're getting tons of new clients and let's say you're spending money on ads, you're spending money on figuring out how to get clients, but then you're not keeping them beyond that first or second visit, you're always starting from scratch. So that's why we want to have this great experience. Okay, so let's jump into some stats that I found. So 1 out of 3 customers will leave a brand after just one bad experience, okay? Which shocked me, by the way. I don't know if it's shocking you guys, it shocked me. 92%, so 9 out of 10, 92% of people will leave a business after 2 to 3 bad experiences, okay? So while, again, we might think, hey, I'm a human being, I'm not gonna be perfect, I'm not gonna be on all the time, totally understandable. And here's how that impacts our business. So it's like, what can we do about it? Okay, 86% of buyers are willing to pay more for a great customer experience. So those of you that are maybe mid to higher tier pricing in your area, that's something amazing to know. People are willing, 86% of people. That didn't say only in a great economy or anything. It's like people want to pay more for a great experience. Okay, customers are shown to spend 140% more. So 100% more means they're spending double. So 140% more means they're spending double and a half after a positive experience than customers who report negative interactions. Okay, so not only are they willing to pay more, you guys just heard that, they are willing to pay double. Okay, they're willing to spend double when they're having a great experience. 43% of all consumers would pay more for greater convenience, and 42% would pay more for a friendly, welcoming experience. So we're going to get into some of the details of what this looks like, but convenience is a big factor of how people define a great experience, and friendly and welcoming is the other part. Luxury and indulgence purchases average a 13% price premium for better experience among customers. Okay, so they're willing to pay 13% more for the luxury of the great experience. 61% of customers would pay at least 5% more if they knew, so they had the confidence that they would receive outstanding customer service. Okay, this is huge. Consumers really care about this. And what's really interesting is that on the flip side, when you look at companies, most companies will say, I have a great experience, right? But here we see customers don't always agree. They're gonna leave after one what they perceive as a bad experience. Okay, so what I want us to do today is define what your perfect experience is for each client. And this isn't about us getting bogged down in the details. This is about us setting standards in our business. So typically our larger salons do this, right? They teach the commissioned stylists what their idea of a great experience is. But then when we go out on our own, sometimes a few things happen. We kind of rebel against what we've been taught. We're enjoying the freedom of kind of making it up as we go. And sometimes it can get a little lost. So that's why, do we want to go full force like a traditional salon with commissioned stylist? Maybe not. Maybe that's not your brand. But do we want to have something that's a win-win for everyone? Absolutely. So I want you to be able to build consistency into your business, because like we heard, people are going to leave after just one or two bad experiences. And I want you to have a guide for the hard, distracted, uncomfortable days, okay? If you haven't listened to me kind of teach before, then you haven't heard this yet, but I always talk about how we build systems and we build boundaries not for our good days. Okay, we don't build systems for our good days. On our good days, we know it like the back of our hand. We can do it probably even better than whatever our system is, right? We naturally have boundaries on our good days. We are naturally in the freaking zone on a good day. So a lot of the time that can be why we forget to create systems or create boundaries, because when we're in the zone, we're in the zone. It's natural, it's easy, it's second instinct. But you guys, life happens. We go through hard things in our personal life. We get bad news right before a shift. We have depressed weeks or months. We have ADHD medicine that stops working, or, different things that happen. So we need systems to support us for those times. Okay, so let's get into it. Here is my 29-step checklist to help hairstylists provide a high-end customer service experience in the salon, okay? Okay, so we are starting from the very beginning. What is the greeting like? How do you welcome someone into your studio? Are they sitting out in a waiting room? Are they coming in when you're finishing up with a client and sitting right there? Do you walk out and greet them? Do you hug? Like, what is that like? So I want you to go by and create what that looks like for you, okay? One of the most important elements though is saying the person's name. So in any marketing psychology, they talk about how important it is for people to hear their own name. You will instantly help someone like relax. They will instantly be warming up to you, etc. There is this incredible book called Cues, C-U-E-S, and it is all about body language and what our body language is communicating, and then how to communicate even better without words, right? So how to have the best body language that puts people at ease, helps them trust you faster, etc. So how do you want to greet people? Then what are you offering when they come in? How do you make sure they're feeling comfortable, right? Do they change out of their top into like a little color robe? Do you offer them beverages? Are the beverages and snacks you have like a gas station, or are they like a Nordstrom checkout? Like, what vibe are you creating there? Are the mugs, like dollar store mugs? Are the mugs really nice with like a texture on them? Is the environment like nice and clean and comfortable? We want to make sure that they have, obviously the seating is comfortable. There's up-to-date magazines. If you have magazines out, we want them to be current. If you have books, different things, again, we want to be current. Everything that we do when people come into us needs to communicate current or forward, right? So there are so many ways that we can be communicating that we're outdated without even thinking about it, from, music to, like I said, old issues of magazines, and different things where it's like, we just need to be thoughtful and make sure that we're controlling the subconscious like messages that are being communicated that we're not even thinking about. We also want to think about timeliness and schedule, okay? So if you are somebody who's consistently running late or running behind, first of all, what are you actively doing to work on that? So, are you working on a mannequin to speed up some of your most common or frequent services? How do you communicate with your guests that you're running behind if you can? And everything like that. If you do run behind, what is your kind of perfect go-to way to welcome them in when you're running late, right? How do you put them back at ease or whatever? Do you make sure that like, hey, I know I'm running late. I'm so sorry about that. How are you on time? Right? So checking in with them, making sure that they still see that they are the priority to you now. Like, how are you on time? Are you going to be okay if the appointment is over a little bit from what we originally thought? So really understanding how to address that. Number 5, the personal consultation. So really spending that time discussing, like listening to the client. What do they need? What are they thinking? What have they hated? What do they love, right? Like having your go-to questions, your go-to elements that you count on in order to get to that same understanding of what end result they're looking for. Then, so you did the consultation where you're figuring out what they want. Now, number 6, you're going to do a hair analysis. So looking at their scalp, looking at their hair health, looking at where their color is, looking at their face shape, looking at, you heard them say what their lifestyle is, looking at their styling ability. Did they come in with styled hair? Is that how they usually wear their hair, where they're doing nothing? And that'll tell you a lot about what to recommend to them, right? Number 7, confirming the plan. So giving them a recap. I have a whole other episode on how I really like to do a 3-step quote, like a 3-step price quote for people where they get 3 different options. You're completely on the same page. There's no misunderstanding. And people will actually choose the highest, more luxury option more than you think. So you can actually make more money. But making sure you have that time to confirm everything with them. I think sometimes we're so on autopilot that somebody can say, we could do the consultation, they could say, this is what I want, and we're like, great, I'll go get mixed up. So making sure we're confirming it, making sure we are price quoting them, making sure we're completely on the same page. Then also making those custom recommendations. Are you explicitly saying things like, for your face, I would do this, right? You know, because you told me you don't style your hair all that often, I would, you know, keep your shaggy layers longer so that your curly hair doesn't get like weird up here because you're not going to be blowing out those really short layers. Things like that, like making sure you're communicating all the ways that you're customizing the plan to what they're doing. In that research, I didn't include it in my stats for you guys, but in that research I was doing, people will pay so much more just to have a custom experience, a personalized experience. So when I think about giving a luxury experience to someone, I think about all the ways it's going to be tailored to them, and I'm communicating it's tailored to them. I'm not assuming that they know. I'm formulating for the color that's going to go best with their eyes, or I'm formulating for the color that's going to look best with their skin tone. I'm communicating that to them so that they understand that I'm doing that. They remember that I'm doing that, because that's huge value, okay? And it's often lost because we're just doing it and thinking that everybody knows. Okay, so we are on number 9. So we're also going to have professional knowledge in this whole situation. And so that could be talking more about the products and tools that you're going to use, highlighting the benefits of different things that you're doing along the way. Some clients are cool with like not knowing anything that's going on. It's like, I don't know about hair, so I'm going to sit and relax and have a nice time. You do your thing. But some people are curious, so it's okay to share some of the knowledge and background behind what you're doing or how you're going to achieve the different looks for them, because it just shows, again, it sets you apart. Obviously you guys know, you have seen in hair groups or in different places where people literally think applying a color out of a box is equivalent to what's being done in the salon, right? They think we have like little Clairol boxes back there that we put on their head. And that's because no stylist has yet taken the time to say, okay, cool, I'm going to do a mix of different colors to really match your natural colors, so that even though, you know, now you're covering your grays every 4 weeks, it's still just going to look like the natural color you've had all along. Like nobody would even know that you're doing anything different, right? So really communicating that, showing our professional knowledge, obviously without making them feel dumb. Okay, that's very important. Okay, number 10, we want to offer reassurance throughout the experience. So continuously checking in for just comfort, if they need anything else, and then understanding, right? So even though you might know, okay, I know that we agreed on this color, this lightness, this length of their layers, this styling, still checking in on your clients throughout it is really important. It just shows, again, that your priority is them. Your priority is how they're feeling and making them feel comfortable. So many clients report that they can feel like an inconvenience, like you're in a rush or your mind is somewhere else. When you're sitting there and you're like, okay, this is what we talked about. Do you still feel good about it? Do you want it a little shorter? How are you feeling? How do you like this wave in your hair? Is that what you had in mind? Okay, by the way, let me show you how to recreate that at home. So again, we're just remembering to check in. And I know that you guys have your phone dinging with clients wanting appointments. Maybe your next one is coming soon and you're running late. Maybe your inventory order was missing something. Like, I know you have a lot going on, but the reassurance point is so important. So number 11, engaging in light conversation. So we just want to make sure, to the best that we can, we're keeping it light and ultimately mirroring what the client is kind of talking about and looking for. So if they are keeping it light, we are keeping it light. If they are not talking a lot, we're not talking a lot, and vice versa. To the best of our ability. Again, I have a whole other episode that is all about managing difficult conversations behind the chair. We're in an election season, you guys. It is the Wild West out there. So it's like how to manage these difficult conversations in respectful ways that also protect the relaxing, calm environment that you're trying to put together for your clients, right? I want my space for my clients to be an escape from all the noise. I don't want to bring the noise into my space. When people think about coming to you, I want them to think about relief from all of their troubles, problems, stress, not, oh, but when I go there, I tell her every bad thing I've ever done, so I feel anxiety about going to see her, right? So really checking in on what are those topics that are safe for you to talk about, that feel good, that keep everybody in a good mood. Okay, number 12, attention to detail. Again, when we've been doing this a long time, I know the color can get a little wild when you're applying it. There can be splatters. There can be, when you're blow drying the hair can be like flying in their face. We just need to always be checking in. Are we being clean? Are we paying attention to detail? Are we checking in on that guest experience? Whenever I get my hair blown out, there's always like those sopping wet ends that end up like coming across and like touching me. It's so weird. Like checking in and just paying attention, okay? Looking at those details, doing clean sections. You might not think that it matters to the client that you're doing that stuff, but it definitely does. They notice, and they notice a difference, okay? So, number 14, having a clean workspace. So as you're going through each section of your service, taking a minute to just clean up behind yourself. I feel like that's a given. Having fresh towels, clean, soft, making sure there are limited stains on the ones that you're like literally using on your guests. Doing number 16, a nice scalp massage. So offering that relaxing scalp massage during the conditioner, during those conditioning treatments that you're doing. So many people, when you ask them what is their favorite part of a service, what do they say? The massage. Okay, so really making sure that you are spending the time to do that. Maybe even looking up videos and tips on different pressure points throughout the skull and trying some different things just to make sure that your clients are really feeling good about everything and feel like, if anything, they had that amazing massage and they can't wait to come back and get it again. Number 17, having that relaxing atmosphere. So do you have music at a really loud level? Do you have notifications on your phone that are going off? Do you have like a movie playing that has like really loud screaming? I don't know why I thought, probably because like Halloween movies and stuff right now, but really just paying attention to this stuff. Like, again, we're in the zone. We're not necessarily thinking about it. So it doesn't hurt to kind of check in or to just take a second, stand back and like think, does everything look okay? Is there a crazy light like blinking in the mirror that's like blinking in their eyes? Just thinking about it from every angle. Number 18, so safety first. So you guys, making sure your barbicide is right, making sure you are sanitizing in between each guest. Please. Okay, so we need to set a standard for ourselves. Is there little hairs in our drawers? When we open a drawer to get something out for a client, if they look down, would they see, stains? Would they see little hairs everywhere? Like, we need to take pride in what we're doing. We need to like feel really good. Like, you guys are like business owners. Like, you are creating something incredible and you are able to charge and make an incredible living doing this, like, please check in on those details. They really, really matter, not just for your client, but for you. Like, that doesn't feel good. Like, that's your standard. Like, when you don't have a commission salon boss over your shoulder, like making sure you're doing it, like that's the standard you have in your space. Like, come on, okay? So keeping everything hygienic, keeping everything safe. Number 19, so making sure we're giving them a mirror so that they can see multiple angles of their haircut, of their style. This is even great to do during the blowout, right? So turning them around with the mirror so that they can watch you blow out different sections of their hair or curl different sections of their hair. So doing that mirror work or the mirror check. Number 20, so product recommendation. So if you guys are inside of Luxury Client Method, you know the way that I have you guys sell so much retail and so many fun accessories, and it's not you being an infomercial the entire time, which nobody wants to listen to and nobody wants to do. But making sure that you are recommending products. The hair care market is so big. Like, I don't think that you guys understand how much hair care the average person buys in a year, okay? So instead of coming up with reasons or excuses of why your clients don't want it or they don't want to buy it or they want to get it offline or whatever, I want you guys to think about just delivering that amazing experience. When they can get it from you, you are saving them time of driving or ordering or waiting. They have instant delivery because the package is right there. They get to just take it home, right? They don't have to wait for Amazon to come. They have obviously something customized. I just was sharing stats about how people want to spend more money on custom great recommendations and experiences. People waste money on hair care all the time, but when it's a custom recommendation, when it's the right thing, we know it will work for them. They can have that confidence. And also a lot of times people just buy products because it's fun, because that is their thing. That is their way that they treat themselves when everything else is a little crazy. Okay, number 21, really doing a style demonstration, taking the time to teach them, to show them all the steps in recreating that look at home. Just giving somebody butterfly cut layers is not going to help them actually style them at home. You guys have to walk through. You have to take the time to share with them the steps, make it easy for them, and ultimately just, again, we're reminding them, you are my number one priority right now. You are all that I care about, and you being able to be happy and feel beautiful every day that you're not in the salon with me is my priority. This is what sets you apart. Tons of stylists say they do this. Tons of stylists, can whatever, but you are actually taking the time to do it. That client will be loyal forever. Okay, 22, ongoing feedback. So we want to be looking for feedback. I know some of you are a little scared of feedback, okay? It can be intimidating. Asking for feedback. What if they say they don't like it, right? We get in our head a lot, but check in for feedback. Again, that is excellent. And that's an excellent experience. You are showing them, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I want you to walk out with what you want. Like, this isn't personal. This is like, I want you to feel good. And in addition, I want to be able to nail it for you next time too. Like, you are never going to be able to get a client to reach their goals or whatever if there isn't that honesty and there isn't that open communication. So, are you sure this is the right length? Are you sure this is feeling good? You said you wanted it shorter. Is it short enough? Is it too short? How are these layers for you? How did the styling go? Is there too much volume? Is it too flat? Like, let's talk about it. So really asking questions that could give you an answer that, maybe they don't like something or they want you to tweak it. But isn't that better to do it right then than get the dreaded text a couple days later and possibly have that like awkward energy? Just be checking in on them, okay? Number 23, do that final review. So even after you've done tweaks, even after you've checked in, have them spin around and see it. When you take the pictures, show them to them. Is there anything, are you loving it? Is there anything else that you see? Whatever. Number 24, compliment them, right? Like reaffirm that their hair looks amazing. They're about to go into the world, and maybe someone at the grocery store is going to give them like a weird look. You want to make sure that you are affirming that they made the right decision to change up their hair or do whatever that they just did, that you feel good about it. And with taking the pictures, I think that is a compliment to them. So even if it's a look you're not going to post on your feed, I would still go through the process of taking the pictures, because that is just telling the client that you like it, you feel proud about it. That is going to make them feel even better about what they have, okay? Think about it that way. You can also then send those photos over to them so that they can post them or whatever, but it is a compliment to take pictures and then reaffirm that you love what they're doing. Number 25, offer loyalty programs. So this could be as simple as reminding them of your referral program, right? So I have a referral program. When you send people in, you save money. So you could actually get your color for free next month if you send me however many people it would take to make their color be free, right? So 5 people, by the time I see you in November, you get a free color. Like, let's do it. Again, it shows people that you're thinking about them. You want them to be rewarded for talking about you or just coming in to see you. 26, make sure they understand the aftercare, right? So hopefully you've already done that throughout the experience. You should know that once the cape comes off, they're really on to their next thing. So you don't want to be doing your selling of product, rebooking, all of the, my referral you don't want to be doing all of that after the cape comes off. You want to do that throughout the service. So hopefully all of that is done, but making sure they know exactly how to take care of everything. Number 27, making sure their next appointment is booked. So that's pre-booking. Number 28, what is your farewell? Okay, so again, a lot of us haven't really thought about this. Are we hugging them? Are we, walking over to, like, what is your goodbye? Are you opening the door for them and saying goodbye? What does all of that look like? When it comes to the checkout and the farewell, I would just make sure it is smooth, it is fast. Like, a lot of people get annoyed by slow checkouts. Okay, so make sure you have streamlined that process. When they're processing is maybe when you're gathering all the products together, when you're already ringing up and doing all of their, where you're ringing up all of their services, so their ticket is just ready to go. So when the cape comes off, it's like, here you go, here's your card, we're done, right? So making it convenient and easy to check out and say goodbye. And then number 29 of the 29-step checklist here is following up. So sending a personalized note. I used to always sit and write thank you cards and just little handwritten notes to people. Think about all the bullshit you get in the mail every single day. It's so nice to get an actual handwritten personal thing in the mail. It feels so good. So take the time to send out thank you notes, not just to new clients, to your favorite clients. They should be getting the most fun mail from you. Or sending them a thank you text message. You could also do a follow-up after so many days, if they did a big change, or even if they didn't, right? Hey, how was the first time styling your hair? What questions came up? What can I, help you do better next time so that you feel even better about your hair? But doing that follow-up, keeping it personal. Again, people love to feel like they matter. Most people out there truly don't, they're not even listened to. They're rarely ever even touched. They are just rarely have people who really care about them taking the time to fully focus on them. Everyone is so busy. So having that personalized attention and focus from someone I cannot like overstate how much that means. So I hope that this training today has reminded you how important the guest experience is to not only building our clientele, but also just to having fulfillment in what we do. When I do a great job and when that review comes in that says that, or when people send, other clients to me, nothing could feel better than that. We are in this to make women feel empowered and confident and fucking beautiful. And so getting to do that and really getting to do a great job at it, even beyond the technical end result, talk about, fulfillment. Like, that is where you're going to get a lot of it from. And you're gonna grow and make a lot more money, okay? But thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to this training. Ash says, these are all awesome tips. Thank you. You are so welcome, girlfriend. Share it with somebody. Share it with your hair bestie. And I will see you all next week, next Monday. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you online.